Hi, I'm author Robert Dugoni, and I'm going to be reading for you today my latest novel, The Last Agent, which is being released September of 2020. It's the second in the Charles Jenkins espionage series. As Charles Jenkins turned on the water spigot to soak the cardboard, Max barked, though not at the horses. Jenkins didn't have neighbors, at least not nearby, and his friends rarely stopped by unannounced. Alex had taken Lizzie to daycare and would work the morning teaching math in their son, CJ's, classroom. Jenkins raised a hand to deflect the glare of sunlight streaming through the trees, and he watched a young man turn the corner of the house and start across the yard towards him. In a dark suit and a long black coat, and with short blonde hair, he looked like a Mormon missionary. His gait indicated he was eager and determined to change the world for the better. "Easy, girl. Sit," Jenkins whispered when Max growled. "Let's be neighborly, unless he gives us reason not to be." Mormon missionaries traveled in pairs, and usually in neighborhoods where they could more widely spread their message. And while the Mormons were determined, this young man looked too cocksure, too composed to have come on religious business. He also looked too old for a mission. Jenkins guessed late 30s. Jenkins hoped he wasn't carrying a subpoena or something more deadly. At present, all he had in hand was the gardening hose. Max dutifully sat at Jenkins' side. The young man stopped when he stepped onto the soggy lawn and looked down at his polished black dress shoes. His determined expression became hesitancy. He looked up. "Are you Charles Jenkins?" "What's this about?" Jenkins eyed the ground for a weapon. "I'm hoping to speak with Charles Jenkins." The young man's voice rose in question. "Is he home?" I asked what was about. Max emitted a low growl, drawing the man's brief attention. "Russia," he said, redirecting his gaze to Jenkins. "It's about Russia." Jenkins tilted his head, having difficulty hearing over the sound of a low-flying jet heading south to SeaTac Airport or Boeing Field. "Say that again?" The young man stepped forward and raised his voice. "I said it's about Russia, the time you spent there." "You don't have to yell, son. I'm not that old." Jenkins eyed the man's clothing and said, "You're dressed too nice to be a reporter, so I'm assuming you're not here to write a story. And I can't see a publisher sending an editor without calling first." "I work for the agency," he said. "My name is Matt Lamore." "You work for the CIA?" Jenkins asked. Maybe he was hard of hearing. Lamore held up credentials. "You can verify my employment with the Deputy Director of Clandestine Services." Jenkins had never heard of the department, though he understood the agency had recently undergone some restructuring. "What division?" "Covert Actions, Russia primarily." "You're serious?" "I can understand." "No, you can't." He chuckled at the agency's audacity. Then he said, "Do you see the Deputy Director regularly?" "Not regularly, but you can deliver a message to him?" "Her, actually. The Deputy Director of Clandestine Services is a her, Regina Beatty." "You can deliver a message to Miss Beatty?" "I can." "Then you can tell her to go." Jenkins bit his tongue for his deceased mother's sake. She'd always told him the F word is a sign of a lack of intelligence. "Tell her we don't have anything to talk about," he said, and started down the lawn toward his home. This will be out in September of 2020, and I'm very excited about it. It's a beautiful cover, and Thomas Mercer's just done a fantastic job for me. So I hope you look for it coming in September.